The sleek Azurian vessel glided through Earth's atmosphere like a silver teardrop. Olivia watched through the view screen as her home planet grew larger, blue and green and beautiful. Her heart raced with anticipation. 6 months had passed since her accidental encounter with the alien civilization. Her return would forever change humanity's place in the cosmos. Mission Control erupted with confused chatter as the unknown ship appeared on their scanners. The vessel was unlike anything in their database, moving with impossible grace. Defense systems activated worldwide as governments scrambled to respond. "This is Olivia Mason of Earth Exploration Vessel Horizon." Olivia transmitted to Mission Control. "Please stand down. I am returning in a diplomatic vessel provided by the Azurian Collective." Silence followed, then a burst of questions. Her transmission was routed to increasingly higher authorities until finally, General Laura Kemp took command of the situation. "Mason, your vessel was reported lost with all hands 3 months ago." The general said, her voice tight with suspicion. "We need verification of your identity and explanation of your circumstances before we can allow that vessel to approach." Olivia smiled, understanding their caution. She provided her security codes and biometric data, then explained briefly about the malfunction that had sent her off course, her capture by the Azurian research outpost, and the subsequent cultural exchange. The ship landed at a remote military base in the Nevada desert surrounded by armed soldiers and scientific personnel. Olivia emerged first, raising her hands in the universal gesture of peace. Behind her, 3 Azurians appeared, their blue skin shimmering in the harsh sunlight. General Kemp approached her, face stern but eyes wide with wonder. "You have a lot of explaining to do?" "Mason, the debriefing lasted weeks." Olivia recounted every detail of her time with the Azurians, while scientists examined the alien vessel and diplomatic teams prepared first contact protocols. The gifts from the Azurian star charts, advanced medical technology, and cultural databases were carefully studied for hidden threats but proved genuine. The Azurian representatives, Nalara Zylar and young scientist Kalara, observed human civilization with fascination. They wandered through cities, marveling at the chaotic diversity of architecture, fashion, and behavior. They found human art particularly intriguing, the way it embraced imperfection and emotion, rather than mathematical precision. "Your species builds without unified purpose," Nalara noted during a tour of New York City. "Some structures reach for the sky, others spread wide, some are glass and steel, others stone and wood. There is no pattern." "That's the pattern," Olivia explained. "Different solutions for different needs and expressions. Adaptation to changing circumstances and desires." World leaders gathered at the United Nations for the formal introduction of Earth's first confirmed alien visitors. The hall buzzed with tension and excitement as Olivia took the podium. 6 months ago, I left Earth as an explorer." She began. "I return as a bridge between 2 civilizations. The Azurians are an ancient species, technologically advanced, peaceful in their intentions. They once viewed us as primitive. Now they recognize what I told them from the beginning. Primitive built empires." Commander Zyler stepped forward, her tall form causing gasps throughout the assembly. She spoke through the translation device, her words flowing like music. "People of Earth, we come in peace and curiosity. Your Olivia Mason has shown us that different evolutionary paths lead to different strengths. Our civilization values order, precision, and stability. Yours thrives on adaptation, innovation, and resilience. Both approaches have merit. Both have limitations. Together we may accomplish what neither could alone." The speech continued with formal diplomatic overtures, scientific exchange proposals, and cultural sharing initiatives. But the true impact came during the question and answer session. A reporter asked what humans could possibly offer a civilization thousands of years more. Advanced Zyler answered without hesitation, "New perspectives. Our society has grown, stable but static. Your chaotic approach to problem-solving, your willingness to embrace risk and failure, these qualities have become rare among my people. We have much technology to share, but you have much creativity to teach." The first months of human-Azurian relations progressed cautiously. Some Earth nations embraced the opportunity while others remained suspicious. The Azurians established an embassy in Geneva, staffed with scientists, diplomats, and cultural experts. Small delegations of human specialists were invited to visit Azurian outposts to begin technological and cultural exchange. Olivia found herself at the center of it all. Neither fully military nor fully diplomatic, she became the unofficial liaison between species, the woman who bridged worlds as the media called her. She worked closely with Dr. Catherine Wells, the brilliant xenobiologist appointed to head Earth's exchange program. Catherine and Olivia spent long hours with Kalara, the young Azurian scientist, who showed the most interest in human culture. The three formed an unlikely friendship across species. "Your music fascinates me," Kalara said during one cultural exchange session. "It follows mathematical patterns yet deliberately breaks them, creates tension through disharmony, then resolves it. Our music seeks perfect harmony always." Catherine smiled. "It's like our approach to most things. We understand the rules specifically, so we can break them effectively. We find beauty in imperfection, in the unexpected." This conversation was interrupted when an aide rushed in with urgent news. A radical political group had attacked the Azurian embassy. 3 aliens had been injured, though none critically. Earth governments condemned the attack. But damage was done. Zyler called an emergency meeting with Earth Security Council. The diplomats expected accusations, perhaps even withdrawal. Instead, the commander surprised them. "We anticipated resistance," Zyler stated calmly. "Your species took thousands of years to accept differences among yourselves. We cannot expect immediate universal acceptance of our kind. However, these incidents highlight a security concern that affects both our peoples." She activated a holographic display showing a star system. Near Azurian space, Olivia recognized it from the star charts she'd been studying. This system contains a pre-industrial civilization, highly territorial, and rapidly developing weapons technology. Our monitoring indicates they have detected both our worlds and may soon develop interstellar capabilities. The implications hung heavy in the room. Another spacefaring species potentially hostile to both humans and Azurians. We propose accelerated technological exchange. Zylar continued. Defense systems, early warning networks, communication protocols. Our species have different approaches to security, each with advantages. The primitive, as we once called you, builds strong walls. The advanced, as you might call us, builds precise sensors. Together we create something neither imagined alone. General Kemp leaned forward. We would need assurances that such technology would be shared equally with all Earth nations, not just those you favor. Nalara nodded. That is reasonable. Our preliminary studies of human history suggest technological imbalance leads to conflict. We seek stability, not disruption, as the meeting continued. Olivia watched the human and alien diplomats finding common ground, despite vast differences. She thought about how far they had come in such a short time, from captive specimen to ambassador, from primitive curiosity to valued partner. Later that evening, Olivia stood on the embassy rooftop, watching the sunset with Catherine and Kalara. The human and Azurian cities glowed, with lights against the darkness, different in design and purpose, yet both reaching toward the same stars. "The first step is always the hardest," Catherine said, echoing what her grandfather, a pioneer astronaut, once told her. "Everything that follows builds on that foundation." Primitive built empires, Kalara said, using Olivia's phrase, now primitive and advanced build bridges. The next step awaits us among the stars. The Geneva Accords, as they came to be known, marked the official beginning of the Human-Azurian Alliance. 6 months of intensive negotiation resulted in a framework for technological exchange, cultural sharing, and mutual defense. The document, signed with great ceremony, represented the first interstellar treaty in human history. Olivia watched from the sidelines as diplomats shook hands and pressed tentacles. Her role had shifted from accidental ambassador to implementation specialist. She would lead the first joint scientific mission, a year-long expedition to establish an observation post near the potentially hostile alien civilization. The prospect both thrilled and terrified her. Catherine joined Olivia in the preparation facility where engineers assembled equipment for the mission. Her friend had been appointed chief xenobiologist for the expedition. Looking at the organized chaos of humans and Azurians working together, Catherine shook her head in wonder. A year ago I was teaching introductory biology at a community college, she mused. Now I'm helping prepare first contact protocols for our second alien species. Life takes unexpected turns. Olivia nodded, thinking of her own journey from exploration pilot to interstellar diplomat. We adapt, she said. It's what humans do best. Kalara approached carrying what looked like a silver helmet. This is for you, she told Olivia, a neural interface adapted for human physiology. It will help you understand the new species language patterns, without waiting for translation. Olivia examined the device hesitant. Human neural technology was still experimental. The Azurians had used similar devices for centuries, but cross-species adaptation remained risky. Is it safe? Kalara tilted her head, in the Azurian gesture of qualified affirmation. 93% probability of successful integration, 7% chance of temporary sensory disruption. We tested it extensively with human volunteer data. Catherine raised an eyebrow. 7% is not insignificant calculated risk, Kalara responded. The potential benefits outweigh the statistical dangers, especially for mission commander. The preparation continued for weeks. A joint crew of 20 humans and 15 Azurians trained, together learning to compensate for physiological differences and leverage complementary strengths. Humans excelled at improvisation, quick decisions, and physical endurance. The Azurians contributed precision mathematical modeling and technological expertise together. They formed something entirely new. The observation vessel christened Bridgemaker contained sections optimized for each species. Environmental preferences. The command center featured adaptive interfaces that responded to both human touch and Azurian bioelectric signals. The engineering core housed Azurian faster-than-light technology, while the tactical systems incorporated human-designed unpredictability algorithms. 2 days before launch, Olivia received an unexpected visitor. Admiral Patricia Donovan, her former commander, stood awkwardly in the doorway of Olivia's temporary quarters. Her weathered face showed concern. I wanted to see you before you left. The Admiral said, Are you sure about this mission, Mason? The Joint Committee is putting a lot of faith in your assessment of the Azurians. Some of us remain concerned. Olivia gestured for her to enter. With respect, Admiral, I spent 6 months with them. If they wanted to harm us, they had ample opportunity. The Azurians value stability above all else. They see humanity as unpredictable but potentially valuable allies against greater threats. The Admiral paced the small room. You always were a good judge of character, but this isn't about individual aliens. This is about civilizational interests spanning thousands of years. What if their definition of stability eventually means controlling our development? A valid concern. Olivia acknowledged, that's partly why this mission is important. We need to establish ourselves as equal partners, not junior allies. The potential threat from this third species gives us leverage in the relationship. The Azurians need our different approach as much as we need their technology. Admiral Donovan nodded slowly. Just be careful out there, Mason. Keep your eyes open. Remember, your first duty is to humanity. The launch day arrived with minimal ceremony. The Bridgemaker departed Earth orbit using conventional engines until reaching the safe distance for activating the Azurian drive. Olivia stood on the bridge, human and alien crew at their stations as the stars blurred around them. The journey to the observation point would take 3 weeks by Azurian drive technology, a trip that would have required decades with human propulsion systems. During transit, the crew continued training and preparation. Humans taught Azurians poker, rock climbing, and improvisational theater. Azurians instructed humans in multidimensional mathematics, precision meditation, and their flowing martial art called Kinnara. Kalara had become Olivia's closest alien friend. The young scientist spent hours discussing philosophical differences between their species. She found human literature particularly fascinating, the way it embraced emotional conflict and moral ambiguity. Your stories rarely end with perfect resolution, Kalara noted during one off-duty conversation. The protagonist often remains flawed, the world still imperfect. Yet you consider this satisfying. Why Olivia considered the question. Life isn't about reaching perfection. It's about the journey. Flaws and struggles make characters relatable. The best stories show growth, not perfection. This perspective troubles my people. Kalara admitted. We seek optimal solutions perfect. Harmony's complete understanding. Your comfort with the incomplete, the imperfect, it both disturbs and intrigues us. Their conversation was interrupted by the ship's alert system. The bridgemaker had detected unusual energy signatures from the third planet of the system they were approaching. The crew assembled in the command center as sensors gathered. Data Nalara, operating the science station, reported. The energy pattern suggests artificial origin weapons testing most likely. The civilization has advanced more rapidly than our models predicted. They may have detected our approach. Olivia studied the tactical display, noting the planets, orbital defense satellites crude but potentially dangerous. Inform command, she ordered. Begin passive observation protocols. Keep our distance. For 3 days, the bridgemaker monitored the planet from the outer system. The alien civilization appeared humanoid, but with significant physiological differences, including bony external plates and 4 arms. Their technology level approximated Earth in the late 21st century, but with unusual focus on defensive systems and early warning networks, were detecting active scanning. Commander Xylar reported, They know we're here. Show me. Olivia requested. The view screen displayed approaching vessels, small but numerous, at least 30 ships moving in tight formation toward the bridgemaker's position. Their design favored function over form, angular and heavily armored defensive posture. Olivia ordered, Maintain distance. No aggressive actions, but the alien fleet accelerated weapon systems activating. Their intentions became clear as the first energy pulses launched toward the observation vessel. Evasive maneuvers, Olivia commanded. Shields at maximum, the bridgemaker responded smoothly, the human tactical officer and Azurian navigation specialist working in perfect coordination. The ship dodged most incoming fire, the advanced shields absorbing what couldn't be avoided. We need to communicate, Olivia insisted. Despite the attack, prepare first contact protocols. Nalara looked skeptical. They fired without provocation. Communication may be impossible. Humans once did the same, Catherine countered from her station. Fear drives aggression. They see a technologically superior vessel near their homeworld. They respond with defensive hostility. It's logical from their perspective. Olivia made a decision. Broadcast on all frequencies, visual and audio, include basic mathematical sequences to establish intelligence. The message went out, but the alien vessels continued their approach, weapons charging for another volley. They're not responding. Kalara reported. Olivia studied the tactical display, noting the aliens' rigid formation. Their attack pattern shows no adaptation. We observed. They follow predetermined protocols. No improvisation. Commander Xylar stepped forward. Perhaps we can use that predictability. Display our superior technology without harming them. Show strength while demonstrating restraint. The human Azurian crew implemented the strategy. The bridgemaker performed a series of maneuvers that no pursuing vessel could match. While maintaining shields, it positioned itself repeatedly behind the alien formation, then appeared directly ahead, demonstrating superior technology without firing a single shot. After the third such maneuver, the alien vessels halted their attack. Formation breaking, Commander Xylar observed. They reassess, try the communication again. Olivia ordered. This time include visual of our mixed crew, show them we represent different species working together. The message transmitted, including images of humans and Azurians working side by side on the bridgemaker. Long moments passed, then finally a response came through. A visual, only showing one of the aliens, its plated face unreadable. First contact, Olivia whispered. The human-Azurian alliance faces its first test together. The alien commander called itself Drax, representing a species known as the Varkith. Their language consisted of sharp clicks and rumbling growls. but the Azurian translation matrix gradually decoded their communication patterns. The bridgemaker maintained a safe distance as preliminary exchanges established basic understanding. The Varketh had detected both human and Azurian worlds through long-range sensors. They interpreted the joint mission as a prelude to invasion. Their attack had been preemptive defense against perceived aggressors. We protect our world. Drax stated, its voice translated into flat, emotionless tones. Others came before you, took resources, killed defenders. We survive. We fight. Olivia recognized the pattern. A species whose development had been interrupted by contact with more advanced civilizations. Their aggressive stance resulted from historical trauma. We come to observe, not conquer. Olivia explained. We represent two different civilizations working together. We seek knowledge and peaceful contact. Drax conferred with others off-screen, then responded. Proof required words, meaningless actions. Truth Commander Xylar suggested a controlled meeting. A delegation from the Bridgemaker would visit the Varketh command vessel under strict security protocols. Both sides would remain armed but commit to peaceful exchange. The risk was significant, but so was the potential reward, establishing trust with a species that could become either valuable ally or dangerous enemy. The Azurian security team opposed sending Olivia as part of the delegation. Too valuable, they argued, too risky. But she insisted. The mission required human adaptability, and the Varketh seemed to respond better to her communication style than to the more formal Azurian approach. Catherine Wells also volunteered. Her expertise in xenobiology would be essential for understanding the Varketh commander. Xylar would represent the Azurians, with Kalara accompanying as scientific liaison. The small team prepared for departure, reviewing security protocols and first contact procedures. Nalara pulled Olivia aside before they boarded the shuttle. Her normally composed features showed concern. The Varketh brain structure suggests highly territorial thought patterns, she warned. They may perceive any suggestion of superiority as threat. Be cautious with demonstrations of technology. Olivia nodded, understanding the implication. We'll follow their cultural leads. Display respect for their autonomy. The shuttle docked with the Varketh vessel, a stark contrast to the Bridgemaker's elegant design. The alien ship interior featured angular corridors reinforced with visible support structures, harsh lighting, and minimal aesthetic consideration. Function dominated every aspect. Heavily armed guards escorted them to a circular chamber where Drax awaited with what appeared to be military and scientific advisors. The Varketh commander studied them with multifaceted eyes, its armored exoskeleton clicking softly as it moved. Different species working together. Unusual. Unexpected. Commander Xylar performed the Azurian greeting gesture. We appreciate this opportunity for exchange. Our peoples have much to learn from each other. Drax remained motionless. Why come here? Why watch our world? Truth required. Catherine stepped forward, surprising both the Varketh and her own team. We detected your technological advancement, she explained directly. We came to determine if you represented threat, opportunity, or potential friendship. The blunt approach seemed to resonate with the Varketh. Drax's posture shifted slightly. We advance. We prepare. Others came before others will come again. Must be ready. The meeting continued for hours. The humans and Azurians learned that Varketh society was organized around defensive preparation. They had experienced contact with another spacefaring species centuries earlier, resulting in exploitation and conflict. That species had eventually departed but left the Varketh, permanently altered culturally and technologically. As discussions progressed, Olivia noticed environmental controls in the Varketh ship deteriorating. Temperature rising, atmospheric composition changing. Catherine noticed, too, her biomonitor showing increased stress in the Varketh physiology. Something's wrong with your life support systems, Olivia said, recognizing the signs of cascading system failure. Drax consulted with a technical advisor. Ancient technology. Difficult maintenance expected. Failure in 3 cycles. No concern, but Catherine's scans indicated otherwise. The atmospheric degradation was accelerating. The Varketh were adapted to detect sudden changes. not gradual ones. Their biology made them excellent warriors, but poor at recognizing slow developing crises. With your permission, we can help, Olivia offered. Our engineer could examine your systems, Drax conferred with advisors suspicious of the offer. No outside interference. Defense protocols. Forbid, Commander Xylar attempted. Logical persuasion. If your life support fails during our presence, it could be interpreted as hostile action by your people. Assisting serves mutual interests. The Varketh remained resistant, their cultural programming overriding practical concerns. As environmental conditions worsened, Olivia made a decision that would either save the mission or end it. She removed her protective gear, exposing herself to the increasingly toxic atmosphere. By your customs, I offer myself as guarantee, she said. Fighting to breathe, normally I share your risk while we help. The dramatic gesture shocked everyone. Catherine immediately protested, but Olivia stood firm. The Varketh valued action over words, shared risk over promises. If environmental systems failed, she would suffer alongside them, demonstrating equality and trust. Drax stared at her, forelimbs unprotected, vulnerable, yet chooses risk for strangers. After tense deliberation, the Varketh commander granted permission for assistance. Olivia contacted the bridgemaker, requesting their environmental engineer, Patricia Kelly, to join them with equipment. Her breathing grew labored as conditions deteriorated, but she refused to replace her protective gear until Patricia arrived and began repairs. The human engineer examined the Varketh systems with Azurian assistance. The problem was significant, but solvable. Connections between ancient technology and newer systems had degraded, creating cascade failures. The repair required both Azurian precision and human improvisation. Patricia worked with Varketh engineers, creating solutions from available materials, while Azurian calculations ensured compatibility. Throughout the crisis, Catherine monitored Olivia's vital signs, becoming increasingly concerned. Olivia Mason, your blood oxygen is dangerously low, she whispered urgently. You've made your point. Put your gear back on. Olivia shook her head. Trust requires sacrifice, she replied, her voice raspy. They need to see we value their lives equally with our own. As repairs progressed, environmental conditions stabilized. The Varketh noticed the improvement before their own systems registered it. Drax approached Olivia, who was now visibly struggling. You risk death for potential allies. The Varketh commander observed. Our history shows no similar behavior from space travelers. Olivia managed to smile. Different species, different approaches, she said. Some conquer, some exploit. We seek connection. When Patricia finally declared the systems repaired and stable, Drax personally handed Olivia her protective gear. The gesture carried ceremonial weight. Your breath joins with ours, the commander stated. The ship remembers. The incident transformed the diplomatic dynamic. The Varketh recognized that despite technological advantages, the human-Azurian alliance sought genuine cooperation, not dominance. In the following days, they shared information more freely. Varketh territory bordered regions controlled by a highly aggressive species they called the Dominion. This group had been responsible for the historical exploitation the Varketh experienced. The Dominion expanded through conquest rather than cooperation, seeking resources and forced labor. They will come for you. Eventually, Drax warned, showing stellar maps of Dominion expansion. In 10 cycles, perhaps 20, they consume, they control. Different from you, the intelligence was valuable, confirming Azurian concerns about regional stability and providing context for the Varketh's defensive posture. The joint mission had discovered not just a new species, but a complex interstellar political situation. Before departing, the Bridgemaker crew established communication protocols with the Varketh and proposed ongoing cultural exchange. The foundation for a potential future alliance was carefully laid, though much work remained as their shuttle returned to the Bridgemaker. Catherine administered medical treatment for Olivia's respiratory distress. That was either the bravest or most foolish thing I've ever witnessed, she scolded. You could have died. Commander Xylar seemed equally disturbed. Your action violated 17 safety protocols, she noted, though I cannot deny its effectiveness. The Varketh responded to your biological vulnerability. In unexpected ways, Olivia breathed deeply from the oxygen mask. Calculated risk, she said, echoing Kalera's earlier words. Sometimes you have to trust your instincts over protocols. As the bridge-maker prepared to return home with their vital intelligence, Olivia reflected on the mission. Humans, Azurians, and now potentially Varketh 3 species with vastly different evolutionary paths and cultural developments finding common ground among the stars. The primitive had built more than empires they had. Built bridges. The bridge-maker returned to Earth amid growing political tensions. The information about the Dominion threat divided human governments. Some advocated for accelerated military development, others for diplomatic isolation. A few even suggested preemptive strikes. The Azurian Council similarly debated appropriate responses. Their normally unified decision-making, fragmented by conflicting risk assessments. Olivia found herself addressing the Joint Species Security Council, a newly formed body comprising military and diplomatic leaders from both civilizations. Her first-hand account of the Varketh encounter and the Dominion threat carried significant weight. This is not just about defense, she emphasized. This is about what kind of interstellar community we want to build. The Dominion represents one path: conquest and control. Our alliance represents another: cooperation across differences. The choice we make now will define both our species for generations. Admiral Donovan leaned forward. How much time do we have based on current intelligence? Commander Xylar displayed the stellar cartography data. The Dominion's expansion rate suggests 15 to 20 Earth years before they reach systems of interest to either of our peoples. However, their pattern shows acceleration once they identify valuable targets. The council chambers erupted in discussion strategies and counter-proposals flying. Olivia watched the humans and Azurians, their approaches characteristically different. Humans favored bold action, immediate response, varied options. The Azurians preferred thorough analysis, careful preparation, unified approach. Yet increasingly they borrowed from each other, human representatives citing need for consensus. Azurians acknowledging benefits of parallel development paths. Catherine Wells, now heading the Xenobiology Division, outlined cultural findings. The Dominion operates through forced assimilation, she explained. They don't just conquer territory. They absorb species into a rigid hierarchy. The Varketh resistance was unusual. Most encountered species are incorporated into their structure. After weeks of deliberation, the council reached consensus. A threefold strategy was approved. First, accelerated technology sharing between humans and Azurians with focus on defensive systems. Second, diplomatic outreach to the Varketh and other nearby species to form coalition against Dominion expansion. Third, joint exploration missions to gather intelligence and establish outposts along potential Dominion approach vectors. Olivia was assigned to lead the diplomatic initiative with the Varketh commander. Xylar would coordinate technology exchange. Catherine would develop cross-species communication protocols. The plan was comprehensive, ambitious, and represented unprecedented cooperation. 6 months later, Olivia stood on the observation deck of the Concordia, an enhanced version of the Bridgemaker design. The ship represented the first true joint production combining human and Azurian engineering. Philosophies from the ground up. Its mission: establish a permanent diplomatic outpost in Varketh territory and conduct regional exploration. The crew reflected the evolving partnership. Humans and Azurians worked seamlessly together, having developed integrated training protocols and hybrid command structures. The rigid distinctions of the early alliance had given way to functional teams based on complementary abilities. Kalara joined Olivia at the viewport. They had become close friends through shared experiences and cultural exchange. The young Azurian scientist had embraced human concepts with unusual enthusiasm, even adopting some human mannerisms. Remarkable how quickly adaptation occurs, she noted. The first joint crew struggled with basic environmental preferences. Now we have integrated living quarters, shared recreation facilities, blended cuisine. Our differences remain but no longer define our interactions. Olivia smiled, thinking of the early days when humans and Azurians had carefully maintained separation. I expected it would take generations, she admitted. Instead, we've accomplished cultural integration in less than 2 years. The Concordia's mission proceeded smoothly. The Varketh welcomed the permanent outpost, seeing practical benefits in alliance with the human Azurian coalition. Their defensive expertise and strategic location made them valuable partners. The outpost grew into a trading hub and intelligence center as additional species made contact. Then came the incident that tested everything they had built. The Concordia detected an unknown vessel drifting in unclaimed space between systems. Its design matched no known configuration power systems, failing life support. Critical scans indicated multiple life forms aboard, though species identification remained inconclusive. This could be a trap, Catherine warned from her science station. The Dominion uses distress scenarios as lures, according to Varketh intelligence. Commander Xylar performed additional scans. No weapon signatures detected radiation levels consistent with drive system failure. Not deliberate emissions. Olivia made the call they all knew she would prepare rescue operations. The away team consisted of Olivia, Catherine, Kalara, and security specialists from both species. They boarded the drifting vessel, finding environmental conditions barely sustainable. The ship's systems showed signs of battle damage and subsequent jury-rigged repairs. Life signs this way. Kalara indicated following scanner readings through the engineering section. They found survivors in a sealed compartment. 17 individuals of a species none of them recognized. Humanoid, but with translucent skin, internal bioluminescence, and elongated limbs. They reacted, with terror at the sight of the team, several producing small weapons. Olivia immediately ordered her team to lower their equipment and step back. She removed her helmet, showing her face in a gesture the frightened aliens might understand. "We're here to help," she said, knowing they couldn't understand her words but hoping her tone would convey peaceful intent. "Catherine, activate your universal translation protocols." The xenobiologist activated her modified neural interface, similar to the one Kalara had developed but enhanced through their joint research. While the system gathered linguistic data, Olivia used gestures to indicate the ship's failing systems and their offer of assistance. The aliens conferred among themselves, their language melodic, with complex harmonics. Finally, one stepped forward, seemingly their leader. Its skin pulsed with patterns of light that the translation system began to interpret. "Fleeing, we are," it conveyed. "The Dominion comes. Our world taken. Our people serving all that remains." "We are," Catherine confirmed the translation with growing concern. "These are refugees. The Dominion conquered their homeworld. Those who resisted fled." Olivia felt a chill. These weren't just random survivors, but living evidence of the threat. They had feared the Dominion was expanding faster than predicted already, consuming worlds beyond their intelligence estimates. She made an immediate decision. Well, bring them to the outpost, provide sanctuary while we learn more. The rescue operation proved challenging. The aliens, who called themselves the Lumina, required specific environmental conditions. Their physiology adapted to a different atmospheric composition and light spectrum. The Concordia's medical team worked with Catherine and Kalara to create suitable accommodations, while engineers salvaged critical technology from the damaged vesselays. The refugees settled in their leader. Iloran shared their story. The Dominion had appeared without warning, demanding submission. When the Lumina government hesitated, the Dominion demonstrated their power by destabilizing one of their moons. The resulting devastation forced capitulation. Most Lumina were integrated into the Dominion hierarchy, assigned roles based on their natural abilities. Their bioluminescent communication made them valuable as living communication systems. "We resisted," Iloran explained through the translator. "Their patterns require obedience absolute. Their hierarchy allows no deviation. Those who cannot serve are removed." Olivia organized an emergency transmission to both Earth and the Azurian homeworld. The situation required immediate reassessment. The Dominion was no longer a distant threat, but an active force much closer than anticipated. The Lumina refugees provided valuable intelligence, technical knowledge, and cultural insights that would prove critical in the coming conflict. The Joint Species Council convened an emergency session, reviewing the new information. and accelerating defense. Preparations. The Varketh offered their considerable military experience while the Lumina contributed their understanding of Dominion tactics and technologies amid the crisis. Olivia found a moment of quiet reflection with Catherine and Kalara in the Outpost Arboretum, a space designed to blend Earth and Azurian botanical specimens. The three friends had grown closer through shared dangers and purpose. "Everything is happening faster than we predicted," Olivia said, studying reports from border systems. "The Dominion expansion has accelerated precisely as the Varketh warned." Catherine nodded. "They consume resources to fuel further expansion, a classic pattern of imperial overreach, yet remarkably efficient. Their assimilation of conquered species provides them specialized capabilities for each new environment." Clara added her analysis. "Our model suggests they will detect our coalition activities within 6 standard months. Their response will be significant, possibly overwhelming, if we are unprepared." The implications hung heavy in the recycled air, the nascent alliance facing existential threat before fully forming. Yet Olivia felt something unexpected alongside the concern: hope. The different species working together, creating something greater than their individual civilizations could achieve. The Dominion arrived sooner than expected. 3 massive warships appeared at the edge of the Varketh system, their design brutally efficient. Their communication was equally direct: submit or perish. No negotiation, no compromise. The coalition outpost, now expanded to include representatives from 7 species prepared for the encounter. They had anticipated this moment, developed protocols and strategies. Olivia stood in the command center with leaders from each allied species as the transmission came through. A figure appeared on screen, humanoid but heavily augmented with mechanical components. Its voice, processed through translation systems, sounded flat, emotionless. "You harbor fugitives, you build defenses, you resist inevitable order. Submission is efficiency. Resistance is waste." Commander Xylar stepped forward, representing the coalition. "We seek peaceful coexistence," she began. "Diversity strengthens all. Cooperation creates mutual benefit. Your model of forced assimilation." The Dominion representative interrupted: "Inefficient, emotional. Wasteful. Your species requires structure, purpose, direction. We provide, resisting prolonged suffering." Olivia watched the exchange, recognizing the fundamental incompatibility. The Dominion viewed diversity as weakness, disorder to be corrected, their entire civilization structured around efficiency through conformity. The coalition represented the opposite philosophy: strength through difference, cooperation through choice. The diplomatic exchange ended abruptly, with Dominion ultimatum: surrender all outpost technology and personnel for processing. Resistance would trigger immediate attack. Compliance would result in protected status within Dominion hierarchy. The coalition leaders retreated to the secure council chamber to discuss options. No one suggested surrender. The question was how to respond to overwhelming military force with their limited resources. Admiral Donovan, now coordinating coalition defense forces, reviewed tactical projections. Direct confrontation unlikely to succeed. Their technology approximately 30% beyond our current capabilities. Force distribution heavily in their favor. Drax, the Varketh commander, clicked his battle mandibles. They expect conventional defense. Predictable response to threat. We provide unexpected. The strategy that emerged drew on each species' strengths. The Varketh contributed battle tactics developed over centuries of preparing for invasion. The Azurians provided precision targeting systems and shield harmonics. The Lumina offered insight into Dominion communication vulnerabilities. The humans brought adaptability, creativity, and willingness to attempt the seemingly impossible. What emerged was not a traditional battle plan, but something entirely new. A defense that incorporated deliberate weaknesses that were actually strengths. A communication strategy that appeared as system failures but carried hidden protocols. An approach to space combat that abandoned conventional formation for what appeared to be chaos but contained precise purpose. When the Dominion attacked, they encountered what seemed to be a poorly coordinated defense coalition vessels, scattered in apparent disarray. Outpost systems flickered and failed. Communication Between allied ships fragmented the Dominion, pressed their advantage following standard conquest protocols. They never recognized the trap until too late. The scattered coalition ships were actually implementing a complex three-dimensional battle strategy. The apparent systems failures masked targeting algorithms locking onto specific Dominion vulnerabilities. The fragmented communications contained coded instructions coordinating the multi-layered defense. Olivia commanded the flagship Defiance, a vessel that incorporated technology from all coalition species. Its hybrid systems confused Dominion targeting. Their rigid hierarchy prevented quick adaptation to the unexpected tactical approach. "We have them," Kalara reported from the science station. "Their command structure requires authorization from higher levels to adjust battle plans. The delay creates opportunity." The coalition struck from multiple vectors simultaneously, each species executing their assigned role in perfect synchronization. Human pilots performed maneuvers the Dominion computers deemed impossible. Azurian precision weapons hit microscopic vulnerabilities. Varketh boarding parties breached the largest warship targeting control systems. Lumina communication specialists jammed Dominion coordination frequencies. The battle raged for hours, the coalition suffering significant losses but inflicting unprecedented damage on the seemingly invincible Dominion forces. The turning point came when Drax's boarding party reached the command center of the Dominion flagship. They transmitted the authentication codes provided by the Lumina refugees, temporarily paralyzing the Dominion command structure. In that critical moment, Olivia ordered the final phase, a coordinated strike, against the now vulnerable warships. Using technology the coalition had developed together, they disabled rather than destroyed the enemy vessels. The Dominion had never experienced defeat. Their hierarchy contained no protocols for failure. Their rigid structure collapsed under unprecedented circumstances. As coalition forces secured the captured warships, they discovered something unexpected. The assimilated species serving the Dominion awakening from their forced compliance. The absence of control signals freeing them to remember their former identities. The victory resonated beyond the immediate battle. The coalition had demonstrated that diversity created strength, that different approaches combined to create something greater than their sum. The message spread through subspace channels reaching subjugated worlds and Dominion outposts. In the aftermath, Olivia stood before the Coalition Council. The chamber now included representatives from 3 formerly Dominion-controlled species seeking alliance. The diplomatic landscape had transformed from desperate defense to potential galactic restructuring. "The Dominion will respond eventually," Admiral Donovan cautioned. "They control hundreds of systems. This victory, while significant, represents only a small setback to their expansion." Catherine presented her analysis based on recovered Dominion data. "Their strength has always been absolute control, rigid hierarchy, perfect coordination," she explained. "We demonstrated the power of flexibility, creativity, and cooperation. Their entire model requires rethinking," Commander Xylar added. "The assimilated species within their hierarchy will question, we have provided alternative. Our victory creates possibility where none existed." Coalition faced a long struggle. The Dominion remained powerful, controlling vast resources and technologies. The path forward would require continued cooperation, innovation, and sacrifice. But something fundamental had changed. 3 years later, Olivia stood on the observation deck of Unity Station, the headquarters of what was now called the Stellar Coalition. 37 species represented in its governing council, a number that grew steadily as more worlds broke from Dominion control or joined from neutral regions. Catherine joined her carrying data tablets. "The Dominion has abandoned 3 more outer systems," she reported. "Their hold weakens as more controlled species resist. The coalition model proves more adaptable." Kalara approached from the diplomatic section, adding news from her department. "The Meridian Accord has been finalized," she announced. 17 formerly Dominion worlds have established independent alliance while maintaining coalition membership. The diversity expansion continues. Olivia watched ships of various designs moving through the busy space lanes around the station. each vessel representing different evolutionary paths, technologies, and cultures, yet all working together creating something unprecedented in known space. Commander Zyler, now serving as head of the Coalition Security Council, joined them. Her once rigid posture had softened over years of working with humans. The Dominion model created stagnation, she observed. Their pursuit of perfect order prevented growth. Without adaptation, improvement becomes impossible. Without diversity, perspective remains limited. Without choice, cooperation lacks meaning. Olivia smiled, remembering her first encounter with the Azurians, their dismissal of human primitiveness, their belief in their superior approach. The journey from that moment to this one, spanning years of challenges, triumphs, and transformations for both civilizations. I received a message from Drax today. She told her friends, the Bai Varkith have completed their first cultural exchange program. 50 young warriors spending a year on Earth learning human art and music. Can you imagine that 3 years ago, the Coalition continued to evolve, facing new challenges and opportunities. The Dominion remained a threat, though diminished and fragmented. Other powers emerged in distant regions, some friendly, some hostile. The galactic community grew more complex with each passing year, but the foundation remained solid. Different species, with different strengths working together, creating balance between order and chaos, between tradition and innovation, between individual identity and collective purpose. Primitive built empires, Olivia thought, watching the stars beyond the viewport. But together we built something greater. A future where difference isn't weakness but strength, where evolution takes countless paths yet still connects, where the unexpected, the adaptable, the imperfect combine to create possibilities no single approach could imagine. Catherine interrupted her thoughts. We should join the council meeting. The new species from the galactic core arrives today. Their physiology and technology, unlike anything we've encountered. Their perspective could prove valuable. Another difference, Olivia said. Another perspective, another piece of the growing whole.